Hi everyone, I'm Albert Torcaso of Humanity Matters, appearing on the internet and also on PCTV 21 in Pittsburgh. I know that many of you are afraid of the way our country seems to be heading financially and the economy, and many of your families and friends have lost jobs and you think we're heading in the wrong direction. So you're about to do something irrational, something you must not do. You must not vote in the people or put them back in power who got us into this mess in the first place. You know, politicians and the mainstream media is not going to point this out, but you need to know that from 2001 to 2008, our debt under the other party, our debt actually doubled from $5 trillion to $10 trillion. Now the party that actually put us into this debt wants to actually get back in power. So I know you've seen the political ads and you might think, well, that really doesn't matter to me. I just want all this spending to stop. Well, you know what? I agree with you to one point. We do need to control the spending. But we need to think about what is at stake. Our children's lives are at stake. Put the wrong people in, and they're going to repeal the healthcare law. Why is the healthcare law important? Because right now as we speak, my fellow Americans, right now as we speak, no child with a pre-existing condition, such as a heart problem, asthma, emphysema, or, I don't think they would have emphysema, but, juvenile diabetes, or any of that. The insurance companies are simply not allowed to deny you coverage for your child. So whereas before, you couldn't get coverage at any price for that child, under the new healthcare law, you can. Now, I know, you've heard a lot of bad stuff, a lot of bad things about the healthcare law. It's gonna set limits, or it's gonna do this, or it's gonna do that. Well, there's actually, the truth is really out there. But it's gonna take you actually doing some work. So when you get home from work, or from watching the children, you need to get on the internet, or go to the library, and actually look at the real provisions of the healthcare law. But let's say that I don't care if it helps your parents, I don't care if it helps your grandparents, I don't care if it helps your children and saves their lives. You're not going to go for that healthcare law no matter what. Let's say you're like that person, okay? Well, think about this. When President Clinton was in office, and this has nothing to do with being Republican or Democrat, when he was in office, he left us with $1 trillion in the bank. $1 trillion. That's not exactly chump change. When the President Bush left, he left us with $1 trillion in the hole. But let's say that, let's put it on a more personalized term. That's like saying to your child, I'm gonna let you use my credit card. Well, when you gave your child a credit card, you had $1 trillion in the bank. You were smiling, profiling like Ric Flair. And when your child came back from the store, he or she put you in $10 trillion in debt. So that $1 trillion, gone. Now, let me ask you a question. If your child costs you $10 trillion, what parent do you know is going to give the credit card back to that child? If they do, they ought to be told the heck off. So, right now we're facing a situation on November the 2nd, 2010, where we are maybe going to give that child back the credit card. That child spent that money on wars. That child spent that money on giving super wealthy people money in their pocket while taking it out of yours. So let me ask you a question. Simply ask you a simple question. If your child cost you more money than the history of your entire life, would you give that child the credit card back? If the answer is no, then you know what you got to do in November? You got to keep this party that's in office, keep them in office. Now, I'm going to tell you something. They don't deserve to remain there either. No, they don't. The Democrats should be thrown out of office. You heard me. The Democrats, every Democrat should be thrown out of office. Every Republican should be thrown out of office. Every one of them. Get rid of all of them. That's what we should do. But that's not realistic because we can't do that. What can we do? What we can do, America, is we can say that Abraham Lincoln was right. He said that this was government of, by, and for the people. Well, you know what? We're going to let the Democrats have 2 more years. And if you don't do the job, guess what? You're out of there. We're going to tell the Republicans, you screwed us up. You cost us $5 trillion. You're gone. And you know what we're going to have to do? We're going to have to do something we have never done in the history of America. Average Joes and Janes are going to have to consider campaigning for public office. Yeah, I know. I know you're not into politics, right? You're like, you got to be kidding me. No, I'm not kidding you. Because if we don't do something drastic, we won't be $13 trillion in debt. We won't even be $15 trillion in debt. If we don't grow up and get active, we will be $20 trillion in debt. And guess what? Let's say that every single Republican that's campaigned for office took over Congress. Do you really believe that all of a sudden you're going to get a tax cut? Yeah, right. Be honest with yourself, okay? Do you really think that all of a sudden, hallelujah, the Republicans are in control. Hey, we're going to lower the gas. If you believe that, I'm sorry, America. If you believe that, get away from the illegal drugs, okay? Because if you believe that, you're on something. Put down the alcohol, step away from the bottle, because if you think that the Republicans are the answer to your prayers, then you might as well become an atheist. They're not. If you think the Democrats are the answer to your prayers, become an atheist. They're not. Guess who is? You are the answer to your prayers. You know what you do? You call 1-202-225-3121. You tell every single Republican, every single Democrat, it's my time to get what is right. You will keep that health care law in force. Why? Because it's going to save the lives of children. Why? Because it's going to extend the lives of senior citizens. So if the Republicans get rid of it, guess what? They're going to hurt your mom and they're going to hurt your grandfather. Now, you might not know this, but I'm going to tell you. Right now, senior citizens have a chance to have their drugs, their medicines, cut by 50% next year. If the Republicans get rid of it, guess what? They pay full price. So, let's see. Should we let the Republicans back in office when it cost us $5 trillion? I say no. Should we let the Democrats get away with their lies? I say no. I say we'll give them one more time, and then in the words of a famous wrestler, Stone Cold Steve Austin, if you don't do right, we're going to open up a whole tank of whoop butt. I ain't going to say the word because there's children out here, but it starts with 3 letters. But see, I'm not going to open up a tank of whoop butt. I'm going to open up a universe of whoop butt. And I'm Sicilian, so believe me, if I want to whoop your butt, I can whoop your butt and make you cry. I can make your mama cry and your grandfather cry. So we don't want to go there because I am a humanitarian. But Republicans, you need to go. Democrats, you need to learn. Because this ain't a country for you guys. It's for us guys. And these children out here in the park in Bloomfield, Pennsylvania, well, in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, in Bloomfield, on the 9th of October, 2010. It's about America. This is a government of, by, and for the people. Now, you Democrats have failed the American people. You should be thrown out. But Republicans, you cost us $5 trillion. Anybody that votes Republican need to get their head examined by the nearest psychiatric center. Because y'all a bunch of many Fritos, to be polite. But I'm going to get out of here because you know what? I got work to do. So I'll see y'all later. Remember that you and humanity really does matter.